Viewers, is the Congress party in real trouble? Is it rattled? Is it on the ropes, viewers? What else explains the emergence in rather unprecedented scenes in the Union capital? The emergence, the highly unusual emergence, or let me put it differently, an unusual, highly unusual step. The Gandhi duo of Sonia and Rahul held a joint press conference in the company of Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. In the ensuing 30 minutes, the Gandhi duo left no stone unturned to proclaim the death of democracy. Where, viewers, once again in this country. You can see them on your screens. There's Sonia Gandhi. Rarely speaks, viewers, let's be honest. When was the last time she was at a press conference? Next to her, on her left, is Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, who's the Congress president. To his left was Rahul Gandhi and, of course, the rest of the Congress brigade. Stung by the income tax authorities attaching crores of rupees in allegedly undeclared taxes, backdated for a few years, the Congress alleged that the Modi government wasn't only just freezing the party's bank accounts, but also freezing democracy. Viewers, the Congress said by hobbling, the act of hobbling its main rivals' ability to fund elections, the NDA government had rendered the poll contest a no contest. Viewers, listen in to the highly charged statements made by Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge. Listen to this.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जिस चुनावी चंदा बॉन्ड को इलीगल और अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल कहा, उस स्कीम के तहत मौजूदा सत्ताधारी दल ने हजारों करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा अपने अकाउंट में भर लिया है और दूसरी तरफ साजिशन मुख्य विपक्षी दल का बैंक अकाउंट फ्रीज कर दिया गया है ताकि हम पैसों के अभाव में बराबरी से चुनाव ना लड़े और ना लड़ पाए। ये सत्ताधारी दल द्वारा एक खतरनाक खेल है।
Systematic effort is underway by the Prime Minister to cripple the Indian National Congress financially.
All our bank accounts have been frozen. We can do no campaign work. We cannot support our workers. We cannot support our candidates. Our leaders cannot fly from one part of the country to the other. Forget fly. They can't take a railway train. And this has been done literally 2 months before the election campaign.
Now, viewers, the BJP didn't mince any words in its response to the Congress accusing it of whining and making alibis for an impending poll defeat and saying that, does the Congress party really think it's above paying taxes? Listen.
In utter desperation of imminent defeat, the Congress party at the highest level sought to create an alibi today.
कांग्रेस पार्टी क्या चाहती है कि आयकर विभाग पूरे देश के लिए एक प्रकार से काम करे, कानून को जैसा है वैसे करे और कांग्रेस पार्टी के लिए दूसरे रूप से काम करे। हम कांग्रेस पार्टी है, नेहरू गांधी परिवार से, तो हमारे लिए अलग रूप से होना चाहिए।
Remember, it is not the bank account of the Congress party which is frozen. It is the Congress party which is frozen.
Now, viewers, on this show we do our homework. I've come prepared with some hard facts. It has taken me pretty much the whole day after that press conference was held to read through not one but 2 court orders, viewers, page after page after page, to bring you these very important points. And when you consider these hard facts, it becomes clear that the Congress can't outrightly blame the BJP or the Modi NDA for its tax troubles. Though the matter is pending before the Supreme Court, the Congress has not managed to secure any relief in the tax case. And in fact, viewers, there's not just one tax case, there are two really. One that dates to the assessment year 2018-2019 and another to the assessment year 1994-1995. But let's focus our attention, and I'm not even talking about the cases that date to the assessment year 2014-15 straight up to 2020-21. So viewers, there are a large number of unanswered questions. But let's just focus on one particular assessment year. In fact, viewers, you will note that a double bench of the High Court was scathing in its rejection of the Congress party's plea to seek relief. And we are talking about the assessment year 2018-2019. Just 1 year I have pulled out, viewers. The first fact, it's on your screens. This pertains to February 2nd, 2019. Again, remember the year, assessment year 2018-2019. The Congress filed a nil income tax in February 2nd, 2019. In September 23, 2019, do the maths, almost 7 months later, and in Jan 27, 2020, which is almost a year later, 11 months later, the income tax sends a notice to the Congress challenging the nil income tax declaration. 2 months later, March 18, 2020, the Congress is informed of a proposed tax demand of rupees 94 crores 44 lakhs. On July 6, 2021, now you see the time that has elapsed, viewers. It's not a short amount of time. March 18, 2020 and July 6, 2021. Almost a year and 3 months later, income tax assesses the taxable income to be of approximately 200 crores. To be precise, 199 crores 15 lakhs 26,560. Look at fact 5. August 6, 2021. Viewers, a month later, the Congress moves the CITA seeking a stay on the recovery of 94 crores 44 lakhs. A few months later, about 3.5 months later, the assessment officer dismisses this plea seeking the stay and directs the Congress to deposit 20% of the outstanding tax liability. But guess what, viewers? The Congress doesn't question the assessment officer's order. It doesn't question it. Now, viewers, note the date once again. We are talking about October 28, 2021. And the Congress doesn't question. The AO warns the Congress, if it fails to deposit 20% of the total demand of rupees 94 crores 44 lakhs, it would be deemed an assessee in default. Viewers, in January 9th, next year, 2023, look at in fact, a year and a half later, almost 2 years later, remember October 28, 2021, the assessment officer issues that warning that you will be an assessee in default before our eyes. Congress still does nothing, viewers. January 9th, 2023, almost a year and a half or, a year and 3 months or whatever it is later, ITAT issues a letter asking the Congress to deposit the total now outstanding tax liability, not just 20%. Come and deposit the whole lot. It's been too long. January 27, 2023, within days, the Congress moves an application to stay the ITAT demand. Now look at the amount of time that has lapsed before the Congress wakes up. Fact 10, March 28, 2023, CITA dismisses the appeal filed by the Congress. May 24, 2023. Now things are as you can see, gathering pace. The Congress approaches the ITAT for a stay. February 13, 2024. Now, viewers, there is about 7-8 months that have elapsed. During the pendency of the appeal, CITA attaches approximately rupees 65 crores from various Congress accounts. Now, viewers, the Congress is all rattled and agog. And even as we speak, viewers, there is more developments coming in. The ED team has now reached the residence of Arvind Kejriwal. What is expected, we don't know, but viewers, there at the Kejriwal residence, we'll keep the visuals on one side because this is an important story also. At 7:30, I was going to bring you more details on this story. Why, viewers? Because today, the court has denied relief from arrest to Arvind Kejriwal, and you can see the guards there. And there's a negotiation going on between the ED team. ED has issued, viewers, almost a dozen now summons to Kejriwal. And with the court stepping up to the plate and saying, no way, can we give you relief from arrest? Viewers, anything could happen. Kejriwal could be arrested. Remember, 3 of his cabinet ministers are still in jail. 1 member of parliament of the Rajya Sabha in jail. None of them have got relief. They've applied for bail time and again, but got no relief. We're going to go straight across to our reporter. Anshul, what's happening? Anshul, what's happening?
So yes, a team of Enforcement Directorate along with security personnel from the Delhi Police and in fact senior officials of the Delhi Police has reached the residence of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Remember, this happened after the Delhi High Court today rejected the plea by the Delhi Chief Minister of requesting the High Court to not take, basically requesting the Enforcement Directorate to not take any coercive action against him. And this was probably his last legal remedy that was left. Because remember, today was the day when Enforcement Directorate had called the Delhi Chief Minister to come in and join into the investigation for the 9th time. Not only the summon was skipped, but also a setback was received by the Delhi Chief Minister today itself. And what we are being told at this point in time, that a team of senior officers from the Enforcement Directorate along with DCP rank officers of the Delhi Police has reached at the residence of Delhi Chief Minister. They are still trying to go inside the residence, is what we have been told. Within the next few minutes, they have already communicated with the CM security staff, and they have told them that they have come here for official purposes and they want to meet the Chief Minister, is what they have told the security personnel that are present at this point in time. It remains.
Well, earlier in the day, Anshul, just stay with me, bear with me, because this is a standoff. And this standoff, viewers, is not the first time we are seeing a standoff. Of course, we saw a standoff in Sandesh Kali. We've seen standoffs earlier also with regards to Kejriwal in the Enforcement Directorate team. We have seen standoffs when the Enforcement Directorate has knocked on Kejriwal's doors or the Delhi government's doors to arrest other top ministers. So this is now becoming a recurrent theme. And of course, Mr. Kejriwal has approached the courts seeking clarity on whether he can even present himself before the Enforcement Directorate. And unfortunately for him, he has got no protection from arrest, at least from the High Court. He can, of course, still move the Supreme Court. Not satisfied with this order, but I just want to quickly go across to Arunima. Arunima, a big jolt from the Delhi High Court earlier today, and the ED wasting no time. The ED wasting no time.
Yes, and Enforcement Directorate is confirming that yes, their officials are at Arvind Kejriwal's doorstep, but just so that there is no confusion, because in the past there has always been, identity crisis, multiple agencies probing these cases. But ED is confirming that yes, indeed, it is their officials who are there. The clarity that is being given by Enforcement Directorate at this stage is that after what happened at High Court, the investigating team, had no legal bar on them from proceeding as per what the IO thought was best under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Section 50. Notice has been given in 2 cases. One is the liquor policy scam, where 9 summons have gone to Kejriwal. 10th summon is on its way, we are told, by the Enforcement Directorate. Kejriwal refuses to appear again. There are other legal remedies that the ED is already looking at. But there's also a Delhi Jal Board case in which he was asked to appear on the 18th and he refused. What the presence of Delhi police, DCP rank officers there also means is that the ED is apprehending. There could be some kind of a law and order issue. We have seen, be it the arrest of Hemant Soren or be it the presence of ED officials at Sandesh Khari or in Tamil Nadu, they've had to rely on central forces for the protection of ED officials. In this case also, we are waiting for ED to officially tell us why are they there, under what case they are serving, their summons or proceeding against Arvind Kejriwal. But they are moving very swiftly and underlining that there is no legal bar on the IO, and that's why these actions are being taken.
Well, you never know. Viewers, we started with the Congress and we moved down the India ranks to the Aam Aadmi Party. What a day it is turning out to be. Unprecedented day, viewers. I was giving you the hard facts on the Congress, and guess what happens? Kejriwal gets a hard knock on the door from the Enforcement Directorate. And we are told that another summons has been served today, the 10th in the liquor gate scan. The alleged, let me be very clear here, because all these parties have become extremely litigious, viewers. You put a word edgeway here, wrong foot there, that's it. You will be called in, you will be hauled, and it's worse. Democracy is dying, viewers. It is dying in a large number of states where the opposition, and trust me, I know because I'm suffering on those accounts, but that's a different matter. I'm not the news here, but just watch these scenes. The 10th time the ED knocks to question Mr. Kejriwal. He has no protection from arrest today. I want to go back to our reporter Anshul, who's there. Anshul, have you been able? Okay, we don't have him. Let me just open this up. Dr. Ranganathan, the BJP national spokesperson, Ishkaran Bhandari, a lawyer. We are not lacking any brains. There is another lawyer also representing the Congress point of view. No one can say, viewers, there is no legal representatives here to talk up their various sides. What a day. Dr. Ranganathan, we were talking earlier today. We were doing a lot of research and we were hoping to talk about the Congress. And guess who? I mean, Mr. Kejriwal wants to steal the limelight even from the Gandhis now. I'm sorry, I'm not being facetious. I'm just, I'm finding it's a crowded screen. It's a crowded screen. Dr. Ranganathan, you're the person who's not a politician or from the legal fraternity. How are you seeing this? I mean, look, Mr. Kejriwal has gone before every forum available to him saying this is a witch hunt. He's got no relief. What do you make of this? And remember today, Dr. Ranganathan, the High Court said, show us proof that you can link, the ED that is, can link this man to the alleged liquor gate scam. And they did.
Good evening, Rahul. Good evening to my fellow panelists. I hope you can hear me. If you could please connect the phone audio, that'll be very grateful.
I can hear you.
Arvind Kejriwal, Rahul, to put it in short, is the fly that has settled on the fly swatter. And he's rubbing his forelimbs with glee and living a charmed life. But for how long? In fact, I request the Prime Minister Modi to quickly award Sisodia, Kejriwal and Satinder the Bharat Ratna, because it cannot be given to convicted Indians. And this looks like a race against time. No, but seriously, Kejriwal is the same man who announced himself as an Aam Aadmi, and today he's decided that he's going to blatantly ignore yet again the summons from a constitutional agency. A summons from a non-independent agency is still legal summons. And by the way, the ED conviction rate for PMLA cases is 95%. So this isn't some political witch hunt. And an Aam Aadmi respects the law of the land. Rahul, is this not the same Aam Aadmi Party, I ask you, that arrested a Congress MLA 6 months ago on a case that the Supreme Court had itself squashed? And the Congress MLA was arrested based on investigations carried out by, surprise,
Punjab.
the ED. Yeah. Then AAP said, let law take its own course. And here it is not willing to make the law take its own course, be that as it may. Just 30 seconds. Let me give you the facts and facts alone. This is from the Supreme Court order. Number one, the excess amount of 7% commission earned by the wholesale distributors for 338 crores constitute an offence as defined under Section 7 of the POC Act. These are proceeds of crime. This figure cannot be disputed or challenged. The new excise policy was meant to give windfall gains to select few wholesale distributors who in turn had agreed to give kickbacks and bribes. Number two, VAT and excise duty was payable separately. However, under the new policy, the VAT was reduced to mere 1%. 3. Manish Sisodia was unable to provide any rational explanation for increasing the commission from 5% to 12%. 4. Mahadev Liquor, a wholesale distributor having 20% market share, was forced to surrender their license since they were not ready to pay kickbacks. Punjab Excise Department was used to arm twist them. The fact of the matter is there is also Mr. Nair, who allegedly arranged a meeting of Indo-Spirit chief with Kejriwal. He is now the person who is spilling all the beans. So why I don't understand. All these things have been said not by the BJP, not by Amit Shah, not by Modi, but by Supreme Court. Let Kejriwal say that Supreme Court is also wrong. Let him say it. I challenge him.
Well, you see, this is a peculiar circumstance, and I want to bring in our other friends also. Let me come to you. I'm coming to you, Sanju Verma now. Can you hear me? I just want to ask you this question.
Yes, I can.
I mean, look, yes, there is, of course, prima facie a smoking gun, and we can see that. We can see that, but I also find it a little strange that, well, I'll come to that part, but I just want to ask you, is this really timed to the elections? Do you want Mr. Kejriwal, for example, do you want the Congress party, all its funds in your pocket, or at least in the income tax department's pocket, so that they have no money to even take a train? That's what Rahul Gandhi said. I mean, if tomorrow the ED were to show up, I hope you will give them some money to take an Uber out of their house, but I don't know. And now, and now, of course, Mr. Kejriwal finds himself in the same pickle. He might be in jail. What kind of election will we have if somebody is taking an Uber on your money to perhaps go and escape the ED and the other person is in jail? What happens? There'll be no contest.
You know, Rahul, I have to admit one thing. Despite, things heating up, you've certainly not lost your sense of humor, nor has Mr. Ranganathan. Unfortunately, humor is not one of my virtues. So I will stick to what my strong point is, that is giving hard data and corroborating my argument. The first and foremost thing, and this is with offense to none, I have this to say, that if you look at the press release of the Enforcement Directorate dated 17th March 2024, what does it say? This is just last week. The Enforcement Directorate mentioned a few very important things. A, it mentioned that raids have been conducted in 245 locations. There is one prosecution complaint and 5 supplementary complaints that were made. 15 arrests have been made. Most importantly, they have spoken in their press release of proceeds of crime pertaining to 128.79 crore rupees. They've spoken of a quid pro quo of 100 crore between K. Kavita and Arvind Kejriwal-led liquor cartel. And to add to all this, the Supreme Court in October 2023 has clearly said a money trail of rupees 338 crore has been tentatively established. So like I always say, without being verbose, in any criminal offense, there are 3 things which are of paramount importance: mana fide intent, proceeds of crime, and a money trail. Has the Enforcement Directorate, ensured that all these 3 have been presented to the Delhi High Court, the CBI Special Court, and the Supreme Court over the course of the investigation? The answer is yes. If there is no liquor stand to speak of, which is what the Aam Aadmi Party ambassadors come and say on every debate, I have a simple question for them. Why is Manish Sisodia still in lockup? Why is Sanjay Singh still in lockup? Why is Satinder Jain still in lockup? In fact, Satinder Jain was asked to surrender because remember, he got some relief on grounds of ill health. And last but not the least, they say that the smoking gun, the incontrovertible evidence in any criminal offense, is a witness or an approver, and Dinesh Arora, why Section 306 of the CRPC turned an approver and named Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodia, Arvind Kejriwal, K. Kavita, Arun Ramchandra Pillai, Abhishek Boinpalli, Vijay Nair, Amit Arora, Amandeep Dhal, so on and so forth. So when you have people who are witnesses, when you have a smoking gun in terms of a money trail, how can you say that ye BJP ki conspiracy hai? That argument does not hold water.
That argument doesn't hold water. Now, there is a bit of a complication here, viewers, and I want to bring in Ishkaran Bhandari and his legal acumen as well as, of course, Mr. Jindal. Both are lawyers. Now, this is very important, viewers. Very well versed. Congratulations to you, Ishkan Bhandari, because you've just been appointed the government's counsel. So that is a huge feather in your cap. So I'm just going to ask you this because this is very important. And it could really lead to a piquant circumstance here. I'm being told that the ED has presented search warrant to the security of Mr. Kejriwal. Now, search warrant is different from, an arrest warrant, for instance. Can the security deny the Enforcement Directorate its court mandated right now to search the premises of Mr. Kejriwal? What happens?
No. Rahul, the short answer is no. The security cannot deny ED from carrying out its duty, which is to investigate the matter. Let us be very clear. Last 2 days, the hearings in the Honorable High Court before a division bench were of seminal importance. Because A, it was argued that the money laundering offence is not applicable on a political party. Now, that argument means that if a political party is doing money laundering, it will not be a crime. So that is one of the arguments made. But it was also argued this petition is not maintainable. I will not go into technical details. Let's be on the ground of, can Mr. Arvind Kejriwal be arrested, not be arrested? Does he have any protection from the court? Does he not have any protection from the court? So this is the first time he has challenged the summons. The proceedings happening in the district court, where you saw a lot of Aam Aadmi Party people coming out and saying that since the summons are in district court, why are we summoning again and again? That was a misinformation. I was on your debate where I said it's a misinformation because that is only non-compliance with a lawful authority. That was the entire remit of that complaint. A lawful authority has summoned you, you are not appearing. That's a separate offence. So that was pending before the district court, where he got bail. Nothing to do with money laundering in the liquor gate, where Mr. Manish Sisodia is in jail, where Ms. K. Kavita is in jail, where Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has been summoned. Now that summon had been challenged before the Honorable High Court. Yesterday, the Honorable High Court said, why can't he appear before the ED? Why can't he answer the summons? He is a citizen of this country. Why can't he appear? That was it yesterday. Today, they again filed an application where they were seeking a protection. Protection meaning, in simple layman terms, a sort of an anticipatory bail, a sort of an interim relief where if he goes to ED offices, he will not be arrested. So the moot point was, can the ED arrest him? Can the ED not arrest him? Which the court had to decide, would he be protected? The court decided that at this stage, after hearing both the sides, after ED presenting its evidence, ED did not want to show the evidence to a person they have summoned, so the judges had to see the evidence in their chambers. The judges declined to give Mr. Kejriwal any relief.
Okay.
So it cleared the way, it cleared the decks. One last point, the ASG had argued in the court, we may arrest him, we may not arrest him. So there are three things that can happen. The court can give you protection, the investigative agency can say we will not arrest him, or you get nothing. The investigative agency said we may arrest him, we may not. So they did not give any statement. The court has not given any protection. Now the ED has no blockage, nothing preventing them from arresting. If they are satisfied, it's a case of arrest. That's the legal position as it stands today.
No, so hang on. So let me come back to you. I'm going to ask you this question, Ishkan Bhandari. Are you saying that the judges applied their mind after seeing, first they asked, of course, the Enforcement Directorate to produce what they believed would have been prima facie evidence linking Mr. Kejriwal to this alleged Liquorgate scandal, right? Now, they go into their chambers, they look at the file, then they come out and they reject his application seeking relief from arrest. Does that, so if I can add 2 plus 2, does that mean that there is material evidence there? Prima facie?
Rahul, we do not know what the judges saw, but their order reflects it. If they were convinced that it's a case to give him protection, they would have given it. They expressly say, we have heard both the sides. At this stage, we are not inclined to pass orders of protection. So that means they were, whatever the ED presented, which we do not have access to because it was in a sealed cover under the judges, but the order shows that they did not grant any protection.
No,
and
what
that
are we seeing? We are seeing
no
on our
protection
screens,
is granted.
Ishkan Bhandari, this face-off, how is this face-off tenable? I mean, you have some Delhi police people there. They are there to provide sort of ring-fence security. Unless, perhaps, I don't know, to guard against the possibility of a large number of AAP workers landing up and creating a ruckus. That might be the reason. The perimeter sort of security layer has been thrown. But why is there a standoff? Can Mr. Kejriwal's security, and whose security is that? Who provides him that security? How is it sort of not letting the ED in?
It's a question to me, or it's to
you.
This is frankly something the Aam Aadmi Party should answer, because Rahul, there is no ground on which security cannot allow an investigative agency to come in and carry out its duty. There is a search warrant which has been served, as your screen is showing. They have to carry out their duty. If anybody obstructs them in their lawful duty, that becomes a crime in itself. So I am not sure why is it taking time, because I don't have access to that information. But you cannot stop investigative agency from coming in and doing its duty, which they are legally mandated to do.
Another Delhi government minister there who's just arrived in that it appears to be an Innova, and he's apparently inside that car. There you can get a brief glimpse of him. He's sitting there. So viewers, it's all happening outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence. There's a whole bunch of his staff there, his office staff, they're there. The ED is there. The ED has a search warrant. The lawyer on this show, Ishkaran Bhandari, says very clearly, and look, in the interests of fairness, viewers, I've said that he has become the central government's counsel now. So I don't expect him to take any partisan view. He's only giving us what he's telling us based on the law. You know that search warrants cannot be at any level ignored. You can't have that. This is still, as much as many people claim this to be a banana republic. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, yes, you wanted to come in. This is completely now becoming, I just can only say that this is becoming a little anarchic.
Rahul,
Yeah. Doctor.
Rahul, just a thing.
Yes.
Rahul,
Yeah.
can I just make a point?
Yeah.
Rahul, I am not ED counsel, so I have nothing to do with this case.
Okay, nothing to do. Your government counsel, nothing to do with this case. Okay, yes, Dr. Ranganathan, you want to make a point? Yeah. Doctor. You're on mute. Dr. Ranganathan, you're on mute. Unmute yourself, please. Thank you. Okay, we don't have you. Something wrong there. I can't hear him. I can't hear him. 1 second. Mr. Jindal, what's going on? ED is a villain, ED is this, ED is that, and the ED seems to be doing its homework, going to court, getting favorable orders. This is not looking good anymore. Yes, you can say that ED is partisan, it only goes after, but that's a bit of whataboutery. Let's talk about this matter. The ED makes a strong case saying that, look, this man wants immunity from arrest, we're against it. It gets a huge order in its favor. After the court says, come back to our room, the judge said, let's have a look at what you've got. Show us your evidence or prima facie, whatever you claim is proof, evidence, and it comes out and says, okay, no immunity from arrest. This is not looking good.
Well, Rahul, the very basis of PMLA Act authorizes the ED to carry out arrest without the permission of the state government. The PMLA Act in itself is draconian. In fact, the lawyer on the panel would agree that it's an act which goes contrary to the maxim of innocent until found guilty. It is for the person who is accused to prove his innocence, not for the ED to prove that that person is guilty. The PMLA Act authorizes the officials to carry out arrest if he is satisfied that that person needs to be arrested in the ongoing case. So please do not consider ED and its proceedings as similar to Criminal Procedure Code.
Hey, listen, the prayer was very simple. The prayer was, hand this man to us. Dr. Muni is also here. Dr. Ranganathan, yes, you wanted to make a point. Yes. Yeah,
very briefly, 2 points.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't want my good friend Lokesh to muddy the waters, because what he talks about draconian provisions, they were placed before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court deliberated, and the Supreme Court has given these rights and powers to the ED. including the, now
No.
please don't interrupt now, thank you.
No, no,
Number one,
you're
so this thing
the
about
wrong-
innocent,
you're saying
guilty
wrong fact.
before, being proven innocent, all these things, Lokesh, I don't expect you to interrupt me.
I'll
Please,
give you,
Lokesh, this is very
Ashok,
unfair.
Mr. Jindal, I'll give you time to rebut Dr.
Yes.
Ranganathan. Let him just make his point at least, sir. You're putting a
Yes.
potato into his mouth even before he can open it. He can't.
Yes, so, the fact of the matter is that the Supreme Court has gone in minute detail over every objection that people like Lokesh and others have been peddling for the last month. And Supreme Court has sided with the Enforcement Directorate. Ishkaran Bhandari can verify this. Number two, at no point, in fact, it has been out of the way that yes, ED is not independent. Rahul, you and I have both admitted that. But here, every square inch of the step taken by the ED has been acted upon by the courts, by the High Court, by the Magistrate Court, by the appellant. Every step of the way, even today, whether arrest can be made or not, everything has been dealt with by court. So to say that yes, ED is not independent, I myself agree. But here, ED is acting with the court looking on it directly. So please, this excuse is totally invalid.
Yeah, we are speaking in specific terms, Mr. Muni. You can say that the ED is partisan and I have data. 1 second, Sanju Verma, you can respond to Akashdeep Muni. It will make for a much more balanced debate. Mr. Muni, let's look at this matter. Mr. Kejriwal has thrown the kitchen sink at the courts. I am not going to, you see, I have so much to do.
Correct.
I am going out there. I am involved in my campaigning. Now 10th summon lands at his door. It's knocking hard. It's not even landing. It's knocking, beating down that door. And Kejriwal has gone from court to court only to be turned away, Mr. Akashdeep Muni. This is not looking good. And today's hearing in the High Court, the judge asks, show us prima facie the proof. You can't just go after a chief minister. And they do. He goes into the chamber at the back, the judge. The ED brings its files. The other counsel is there. Says these are the basic points. And there are so many. I can talk about Vijay Nair, who orchestrated the scam, is a close associate of Kejriwal. The ED believes Vijay had supported a sanction of Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia. Vijay Nair was acting on behalf of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. New excise policy was the brainchild of Arvind Kejriwal. This is what the justice would have known and seen, and there would have been proof in some sort of column adduced to these claims. So, Mr. Muni, this is not looking good anymore for Mr. Kejriwal.
Rahulji, first of all, I have utmost respect for you and your journalistic capabilities. But today it seems that you have not done your fact checks properly and haven't gone through the court proceedings. Today, there are two important instances that happened in the case.
Okay.
Let me come and then you can rebut me, sir.
Yeah, I can. Please go ahead.
Today, the ASG, Mr. Raju, told to the Honorable Court that neither Aam Aadmi Party or Arvind Kejriwal is accused in this particular case. Quote unquote. So all the media furor regarding the press release and etc. Arvind Kejriwal has been named and etc. This all falls flat when the ASG of Enforcement Directorate, the lawyer of Enforcement Directorate, says that neither Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal is an accused in the case. Second point factor is the Delhi High Court directs Enforcement Directorate to file a reply to Arvind Kejriwal's petition challenging the summons in 2 weeks. So now the Enforcement Directorate will have to answer to Arvind Kejriwal कि भाई आपके summons क्यों झूठे और illegal नहीं है. Court also asked Enforcement Directorate to present material evidence. And the Enforcement Directorate said that material is investigated, cannot be presented in the court.
No, please, Akashdeep Muni. Hang on. I don't know who's done their homework. I want to ask you, are you also going to deny? Mr. Muni, first of all, viewers, let me tell you, why is the ED questioning Mr. Kejriwal? If he was an accused, they would have immediately arrested him by now. They want to know if the charges that are being made against him by the others, do they add up? So they just want to question him. One second, Mr. Muni, please, let me speak.
All accused are not arrested.
सर
नहीं होता
आपको कितना होमवर्क मिला है मुझे तो पता नहीं. यू हैव गॉट सो मच होमवर्क दैट यू आर डिस्ट्रैक्टेड. डॉक्टर रंगनाथन इज होल्डिंग समथिंग अप. आप अपना होमवर्क कीजिए. एक मिनट, जस्ट वन सेकेंड. आई जस्ट वांट टू लिसन. सिंस अ चार्ज हैज बीन मेड अगेंस्ट मी, मेरे को तो आज होमवर्क ही नहीं मिला. मैं तो आज रिसर्च कर रहा था. मैं कल अपना होमवर्क सबमिट करूंगा बेस्ड ऑन माय रिसर्च. डॉक्टर मुनी, यस. डॉक्टर रंगनाथन, यू आर होल्डिंग समथिंग अप. सुप्रीम कोर्ट समथिंग. आई कांट सी इट वेरी क्लियरली. व्हाट आर यू सेइंग? Dr. Ranganathan, I can't hear you. Supreme Court upholds powers of arrest, raid, seizure under PMLA. Of course. Yeah. Now just let me just...
So, please...
Yeah.
There is no point to this. There is no...
Okay, Saurabh Bhardwaj suddenly speaking. Let's listen in.
जिस तरह से पुलिस अंदर है और मुख्यमंत्री जी के निवास में किसी को जाने नहीं दिया जा रहा है, ऐसा लग रहा है कि मुख्यमंत्री जी के यहाँ रेड मारी गई है और उनके मन में क्या है ये नहीं मालूम, बट ऐसा दिखता है कि मुख्यमंत्री जी को गिरफ्तार करने की पूरी तैयारी है.
तो क्या सर आज मुख्यमंत्री को जाने से रोक दिया? यहाँ पर आपने सौरभ भारद्वाज को सुना जिन्होंने...
Well. That's been a quick update. Saurabh Bhardwaj coming in and saying police is inside. There seems to be a raid underway. He's going to be arrested today. Take it from me in writing. This is what he says. Well, Saurabh Bhardwaj is entitled to his view. The court has, of course, struck down any immunity that Kejriwal was seeking from arrest. Let me tell you, viewers, the ED hasn't made him an accused right now simply because they want to question him. Then once they are satisfied or unsatisfied, they will make up their mind. That's basic law and legal. We are not in a dictatorship, viewers. Everything has happened with court sanction. Yes, Sanju Verma, you want to rebut Mr.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Muni. Yes.
Yes. Rahul, from what I know, you do your homework thoroughly and your research thoroughly. But be that as it may, taking off from what Dr. Ranganathan pointed out, on his mobile, I just want to say one very important thing which your viewers should know. I've been on umpteen debates with Ishkaran on, this particular liquor scam issue as well. Please understand that in that historic judgment of July 2022, Justice A.M. Khanvilkar, it was a 3-judge bench. And what did they say? They said a couple of very important things. Ideally, bail is the norm and jail is the exception. But in the case of PMLA related crimes, bail is not the norm. Second most important thing, they also said that while it is the prerogative or choice of the Enforcement Directorate to point out verbally the reasons for arresting a person, furnishing an ECIR, which is the equivalent of a FIR, it is not mandatory or obligatory. And point number 3, because I've been on other channels also, after K. Kavita's arrest, the one argument which everybody seems to be making is, since the case is still sub judice, how could the Enforcement Directorate arrest K. Kavita because the case is still pending in the Supreme Court? To that, the Supreme Court itself, in the July 2022 verdict said, while quoting the Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary versus the Union of India case, this is the case which has been referred to by CJI Chandrachud even in April 2023 while responding to Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who said ED is functioning as a handmaiden of the Modi government. Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary versus the Union of India case clearly says, even if a case is sub judice, even if the entity or concerned people are facing trial, nothing stops the Enforcement Directorate or the concerned investigation agencies to go ahead and suo moto arrest. And my last question is this. You keep trolling the Enforcement Directorate. When I say you, I mean the other side of the cabal, which feels, that Arvind Kejriwal is Raja Harishchandra ka chautha avatar. They keep saying, ED is, just an advisory body. Excuse me. ED was an advisory body way back in 1964. There was an amendment made by the Central Vigilance Commission in 2003, post which the ED is now a statutory body with powers of a civil court. Had they wanted, they could have arrested Arvind Kejriwal right after he rejected the 3rd summon, because that is what the ED is entitled to do. But यहाँ पर तो 9 summon को Arvind Kejriwal ने comply नहीं किया, and the ED is still giving him a long rope.
Piyush Joshi, look at the extent to which the Enforcement Directorate has gone, so that no one can come out and say that it is acting in a manner that is arbitrary. Every action, every step, it goes to the court or it is taken to the court by Mr. Kejriwal. And Kejriwal's success rate is very, very poor. I think Mr. Muni needs to represent him. Mr. Muni has absolute powers of deduction and logical reasoning. The entire Kejriwal legal team should be sacked, Mr. Joshi, because I can't understand if the conviction with which Mr. Muni speaks after having ascertained the facts, then it's quite clear. Okay, another bite coming in from Saurabh Bhardwaj.
हाई कोर्ट के पास पूरा का पूरा मामला था। हाई कोर्ट ने ईडी को समय दिया है 22 अप्रैल तक का कि आप अपना जवाब दाखिल करें कि अरविंद केजरीवाल की गिरफ्तारी क्यों जरूरी है। और अब जिस तरीके से ईडी अरविंद जी के घर में फिलहाल है, बाहर पुलिस का बड़ा बंदोबस्त दिख रहा है, घर के अंदर जाने की मनाही है, उनके फोन से ना मुख्यमंत्री जी से ना उनके सचिव से कम्युनिकेशन नहीं हो पा रहा है। ऐसा लगता है कि ईडी वालों ने उनके फोन्स वगैरह भी ले लिए हैं। पूरा का पूरा अंदेशा ये है कि अंदर रेड चल रही है जी। और बहुत जल्द उनको गिरफ्तार करने वाले हैं। एक बात इससे साफ है, अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी को किसी से डर लगता है तो वो अरविंद केजरीवाल है। अगर नरेंद्र मोदी जी का विकल्प इस देश में कोई है तो वो अरविंद केजरीवाल है। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को हो सकता है वो आज गिरफ्तार करेंगे, मगर हर गली में, हर मोहल्ले में, हर गांव में, हर कस्बे में अरविंद केजरीवाल की सोच वाले नए अरविंद केजरीवाल पैदा होंगे
बीजेपी की तरफ से।
और वो सोच जो है, उस सोच को आप गिरफ्तार नहीं कर सकते। अंग्रेजों ने भी बहुत लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया, 10-10 साल जेलों के अंदर रखा, हाउस अरेस्ट के अंदर रखा, मगर जो आइडिया होता है उसको गिरफ्तार करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है। और ये बहुत गलत परंपरा आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने शुरू की है जी। कि अपने विरोधियों को आप जेल में डाल दें और अकेले ही चुनाव लड़ें, तो ऐसा प्रजातंत्र में होता नहीं है। ये सीधा सीधा एक अत्याचार है कि आप एक छोटी सी पार्टी, आप तो कहते हैं कि सुपारी जितनी पार्टी है, इतनी छोटी पार्टी है। जब इतनी छोटी, मैं आपसे बात नहीं कर रहा प्लीज, मैं एएनआई को बाइट दे रहा हूं। जब इतनी छोटी पार्टी से इतना बड़ा डर है कि इनको गिरफ्तार ही करना है, कैसे भी गिरफ्तार करना है, तो ये बात आज जो है, इनका जो अत्याचार है वो आज पूरे देश और पूरी दुनिया के सामने आ गया है।
Now, it's all very intriguing, viewers. And I'm just going to now take you through some facts, and Mr. Joshi is at hand to listen to them. The Delhi High Court, remember viewers, this action is taking place after the Delhi High Court itself refused to pass orders granting interim protection from coercive action to Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in this alleged money laundering case related to the alleged liquor policy case. What did the court say? And let me quote it. We have heard both sides. However, at this stage, we are not inclined to pass any order. This is the division bench of the High Court, not one judge, a division bench, viewers. And viewers, what was said by the other side? Advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi appearing for Kejriwal, ASG SV Raju along with Special Counsel Zohaib Hussain represented Enforcement Directorate. These are not people who don't know the law. During the hearing today, Singhvi contended that the Enforcement Directorate was, quote, attempting a non-level playing field, unquote, at this stage with elections around the corner, and that the summons did not provide as to in what capacity was Kejriwal called to be physically present. He says, quote, the only object is come to my parlor. Don't have coffee, I'll arrest you. What information on earth do you want? I'll give you, unquote. Viewers, Mr. Raju on the other side says that Kejriwal can't go beyond the law. He said the law has to be same for every individual. Imagine, viewers, if you or Dr. Ranganathan, the ED was outside their doors with these search warrants He wouldn't have a door left in his house. It'd be kicked down. But here, viewers, you have, and this is very good, let this entire matter be looked and scrutinized by the court. I'm going to take a short break. I'll be right back to Mr. Joshi to hear his response. It's the court sanctioning the Enforcement Directorate to take coercive action today in a